Hello everybody, this is Bradley from RaceBeacon, and today we've been given a slight update on the whole Michael Andretti saga. So for those of you that don't know, Michael Andretti originally was in discussions earlier this year about acquiring the Sauber Group, which now run the Alfa Romeo Formula 1 team. This deal would have meant the Andretti name entering Formula 1 in the upcoming seasons under the guise of that team. But supposedly that deal all fell through and discussions ended, which is why it was interesting when on the 23rd of January we were told by Mario Andretti that, quote, "All I can say is Michael is not giving that up." Obviously referring to the Formula 1 dream. He has his eyesight on entering Formula 1 and he has some good people behind him. Stay tuned. This isn't over yet. And it absolutely appears he's not lying. We have just very recently had a tweet from Mario Andretti saying Michael has applied to the FIA to field a new Formula 1 team starting in 2024. His entry, Andretti Global, has the resources and checks every box. He is awaiting the FIA's determination. Now, this is absolutely massive news for Formula 1 and also absolutely massive news for the American market in Formula 1, which is, of course, what the FIA are looking to expand into the most at the moment, as seen through the extra Grand Prix that we are getting in Miami this year. This means that, assuming none of the other teams drop out, and this is in fact a new entry, which is exactly how this reads, that means we're going to see a return to 22 car grids for the 2024 season. Now, this is of course 3 years into the new regulations, so sort of slap bang in the middle. So any team that does join is probably going to need some incredibly experienced heads behind them. Or they could end up being some of the new three that we saw in 2010, with HRT, Virgin and Caterham. But assuming that they do in fact have the funds and they can acquire some exceptional talent, there is no reason at all that this team cannot be a success. They've just got to really work for it. And as we've seen with Haas, they definitely have the ability to have a couple of decent years and build a very solid car. The question is, will they be able to keep it at that level, of course, which is what Haas have struggled with in the last couple of years. But what do other people make of this? Will Buxton, fairly reputable source working within Formula 1, journalist for Formula 1. He says, huge news, a legit Andretti entry would be an enormous boost for US interest and another potential cross-Atlantic pathway for talent in all roles. And that's a big thing. Having an American-based team, if that's what it ends up being, is absolutely massive because it gives people who are born and raised in America, engineers of very high levels, a chance to work in Formula 1. They're not limited to the likes of IndyCar, NASCAR. They have the ability to join what is the pinnacle of world motorsport. So what do you make of this? Do you think this is completely legitimate? We're going to have an Andretti team on the grid in 2024. Or do you think this may be a bit of positioning potentially from the Andretti family? What is for certain is that Michael Andretti absolutely has the goal to enter Formula 1 in one way or another. But to be honest, there's not a lot more we can say about this for the moment because details are still very, very scarce. But my big question, what two drivers would you like to see join the grid in 2024 for this new team? But until next time, goodbye.